everybody, it's Melanie. I'm here with
Michael.
Yay, I got to say something other than hi. So we're doing a new edition of Cooking with Michael, and I actually have nothing to do with this cooking, this meal. Michael does all of this, so I'm going to leave him to it. I'm going in the other room, and I will see you guys for a taste test. So take it away. Tell them what you're making, what you're doing, all that good stuff. See you at the end.
So we're going to be making a Japanese style curry today. When we lived in Japan, my favorite curry was Koko Ichiban. It's a chain in Japan. You can also find them in Honolulu and Torrance, California if you live on the Pacific Rim and not in Japan. The closest thing I've found available in North Carolina to Koko Ichiban curry is this SB Golden Curry. And I like a little spicier. Melanie doesn't, so this is the mild. You can see here, Amakuchi in hiragana. Literally translates as sweet mouth, but it means mild. I'm probably not going to get a chance to give you a lot of face-to-face. I have a different camera set up on the cutting board, so I'll be showing you some of the setup using that. So a quick overview of what we're going to be using to make the food today. We're going to use a chicken topping on the curry, and I'm pretty lazy, so this is just some frozen fried chicken. Doesn't really matter the brand. You'll see how we apply those when we're presenting the dish. One kind of medium soup pot should be fine for making the curry. Everything's going to go in one pot except for the chicken. Of course, you're going to need rice and a rice cooker. The vegetables for this curry, we're going to use 2 large baking potatoes, 4 kind of decent sized carrots. Unfortunately, we don't have the large diameter Japanese carrots. 1 pretty decent sized onion. And then for the curry base itself, we have the curry, we have water, and it calls for vegetable oil. I'm going to be using olive oil instead. So the first thing we need to start when we're making this curry is going to be the rice. It's going to take about 25 to 28 minutes to make it, and I really recommend, if you're going to be making much rice at all, to go ahead and get just a cheap rice cooker. This one we used was $14 on Amazon. As you can see, it looks ridiculous and wobbly, but it's amazing. You just, it comes with a little measuring cup. You put 1, 2, or 3 cups of rice in it. The pot, I don't know if you can see that, but it has measuring lines on the inside, and you just fill it to the 1, 2, or 3 mark. There are no controls. You just push down for cook. When it's done, it pops up to warm, and it's done. It's magical. Fill it to the 2 mark. Put it in the rice cooker. Plug it in. Flip it down to cook. Maybe start a timer to see how long it took. We'll go ahead and start 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating in the pot. And I like to let it saute the onions a little bit, so I'm not going to add the water yet. Have the onions sauteing in the olive oil for a few minutes. And next, we're going to do the carrots because they'll need to boil a little longer than the potatoes so they get soft. These have been sauteing for just a couple of minutes, but it's on pretty high heat because we're going to be reducing this curry a lot to make sure it thickens. So next I'll go ahead and add the water so it can start heating up, and we can add the carrots. It's all quiet now. We'd like the carrots to come to a boil in the water, and I'll be peeling and chopping potatoes while that happens. Important thing to remember about the rice cooker is if you read the instructions that come with it, they stress one thing: don't touch the rice cooker. Don't open the lid, don't stir it, don't do anything. Just trust that the button will pop up from cook to keep warm, and when it does, you will have perfect rice. You will. As alarming as that might look. This golden curry sauce mix is actually a solid. And it just looks like a block of, I don't know, it doesn't look like anything else really to me. Maybe like a bouillon. You open it up, it's actually divided into 5 slices. You can break them easily by hand. If you want to make servings, I tend to cook the whole block. These are $3 or $4 at a good Asian market. And get it to come out of the pack, I just dump it in, mash it on down. Doesn't look like enough water, it'll be fine. This is going to start to dissolve. You're going to start to get more of a pasty consistency. The longer you cook it, of course, the thicker it's going to be. And we don't actually have a lot of time left. We've had our rice going for 18 minutes. We have 8 minutes left on the chicken. And maybe we'll give this a little more heat in hopes that it starts to boil as it should. So our curry has started to boil. It's been about 3 minutes since I put it in. You can see that the curry block has dissolved. You can't smell it. I'll be honest with you, I kind of can't smell it either, but if you had a functioning sense of smell, I'm told it's pretty strong. So we have about the same amount of time left on our rice. You can see the rice has mostly boiled away. There are little holes where the steam was escaping, and we've still not touched it. The button has not popped up yet. Everything's going pretty well. I think the last things we need to do is in about 4 minutes cut the chicken and start dishing this up. You can stir this a little just to keep the potatoes especially from sticking to the bottom. Might need a little bit of attention for that. This can be a crock pot recipe. If you want to take a little more time, that's fine. But we're doing just a quick 30-minute Japanese chicken katsu curry. Alright, so our timer just went off on the chicken, so we're going to get it out of the oven. Oh, we got blasted with chicken steam. We'll not spill them into the oven. So and these are just cheap, whatever, Tyson or some off-brand chicken. Doesn't really matter. It's your preference for these. You can turn off the timer and cancel that. Curry is still boiling. We got to make sure our potatoes don't stick. You can see this is thickening up a little bit. This is not a lot of sauce. You don't have to put as much potato and carrot in it as we do. Get that onion off my spoon. So I had been recording this pot for the last 5 minutes, intending to show you the moment that the button pops up from cook to keep warm, and we all know a watched pot never boils, and apparently a watched button never pops up the moment I turned the camera off because I was going to film something else. It popped up. So at this point the rice is done, and you can either leave it running. It may stick just a little bit in the bottom, not to the pan, but just kind of clumped together in a layer of rice. Or you can unplug it. Again, no controls, no off switch on this. Our curry and vegetables are boiling pretty violently. Maybe we'll turn those just down to low because we're just about ready to dish it up. We'll go ahead and unplug the rice. The last thing I'm going to do is cut the chicken because this dish is eaten still not with a knife and fork, in Japan at least, but not with chopsticks either. So usually when you get this topping, it's just going to be cut kind of into strips and laid on top of your rice. So not the best presentation in the world, but you'll see how we dish it up in a moment. So for this, you're going to want a plate with a little bit of depth to it. And the way this is usually served, we get a healthy pile of rice on one side of the plate. Sometimes you'll see divided plates used for this. And then the curry sauce and vegetables just kind of go on the other side of the plate. This is a ton of potatoes. That's okay, nobody's on the Atkins diet here. And usually the way this was served at Koko Ichiban, the chicken or maybe beef or eggplant, whatever it happens to be, was kind of just lying along the middle of the plate like that. So there you have it. This is relatively authentic Japanese curry, and it took us about 33 minutes to make it.
It's dinner time! So, let's try this curry. A little chicken, a little rice, a little onion. It's delicious. What do you think?
Probably could have boiled the carrots a few more minutes. Otherwise, it still tastes like Koko Ichiban curry, which is what I was going for. I prefer spicier. They usually have 5 spice levels. I go for like a 3, and Melanie goes for a 0. So this is 0.
I like spicy. I just like this kind of curry. I don't know. Anyway, if you've tried this, or you do try it, or you do make it, leave us a comment down below. You can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/shiveringshimmy. You can also leave a comment on Twitter or Instagram. I'm also Shivering Shimmy there as well. So we're gonna eat, and then it's bedtime pretty much. So see you guys later.
Bye.